Wednesday, February the 26th, 2020, and I'm on the fringes of London here in Surrey, Whyteleaf, about to undertake Free Walk 38, SWC Walk 38, which is a 10.5 miler to Hayes in Kent. In the 3 weeks since I've last walked, due to strong winds, evenings have drawn out obviously, and we're now sort of walking up to 6 o'clock, so that's handy now. It's an early start as well today, about 12 noon now, so I should get it all in. Weather's pretty decent, which is why I'm out today. It's the calm before yet another storm, I believe. Tomorrow's going to be wet and windy yet again. Can't record in the wind, that's a problem. So let's press on. It's about 3 or 4 degrees at the moment, so pretty fresh. Turning left here into the car park of Whyteleaf Recreation Ground, which, as you could just see, has a cafe. I'm sure I've been here before. Invariably after 10 years of doing these walks. As you can see, we're in Saunderstead to Whyteleaf countryside area. Pretty decent vista already for suburban zone 6. Wind's still here with us, as you can hear. Looking back over Whyteleaf, ascending a pretty steep hill now. One final view of Whyteleaf, Upper Wallingham, whichever. Just been walking alongside the road here, but on a separate unmarked lane. We're now leaving that behind us and continuing up this bridleway, which may or may not bode badly. No, thus far it's okay. Just seen my first kite of the morning, so clearly they've spread down to southeast London now, which is good. Well, when I say southeast London, we're actually in Surrey, but as good as. New Addington's not far from us. Massive post-war council estate apparently. It's actually very well clinkered at this point. Ignore that stile on the left. Come out to a main road here. Rubbish everywhere. I don't know how many more times I've got to repeat myself, it's just disgusting. Point 9 of the text, just past house number 30, going down these alleyways towards the wreck. Passing the wreck. Not a good idea trying to take a shortcut across the grass. It's an absolute quagmire today, so I'm sticking with the path towards the children's play area ahead. Got a pretty muddy section here. Point 11 of the text this is, and this is not a bridleway, so can't blame the horses for this. Point 12 of the text. Luckily we have a footpath next to a bridleway here, so instructions tell us to follow a footpath, thankfully, for just over a kilometre, so let's do that. Unfortunately you only get 120 metres of respite because they merge together, so for the bulk of the next 1k I shall be walking on a bridleway, no doubt pretty much like this. Now I notice on my videos that whenever I slag off horse riders and bridleways, which is quite frequently, I get a thumbs down. So clearly there's an equestrian type watching my videos that doesn't like what I'm saying, but that's a fact of life, I'm afraid. Looks like this wood here on my left has the potential for bluebells in April, May. Certainly plenty of shoots coming up. A couple of jays just come out of the wood as well ahead of me. Nice open fields on the right. Still in point 13 of the text here, which incidentally is nicely written. Now in the valley bottom, and consequently path is very sodden at this point. Now arrived at Farley Common, and if you turn right here a couple of 100 yards, there is a potential of an early lunchtime stop at the Harrow Inn, but as usual I'm continuing straight ahead. No churches on this walk today to my knowledge, so village green or something of the kind will have to suffice. Looks like the Harrow Inn down there where that bus is going. So there's the cream house referred to, point 14 of the text. There's a 5-bar gate there, and the onward journey is hidden in holly ahead of us there. The large fallen tree referred to in point 15 of the text, long since grown over now, but there's the field ahead of us. Do a right here, I believe, if I'm on track. Following the edge of the wood, turned out quite nice now, and hopefully the wind will drop as forecast. Hopefully it's not interfering with commentary today. Just about to enter Great Park Wood ahead of us there. That's a bit pedantic, isn't it? Single strip of barbed wire blocking people using that gap there, and yet they leave the signage on the floor because they want you to move through this kissing gate. Got the Vanguard Way straight ahead of us there, but we take a sharp left. Onward journey here is through the wooden barrier next to a recently fallen, is that a lime? I think so, don't think it's elm. Anyway, another big tree down, suitably log poled for nature, hopefully, so that'll be with us for a few years. Now following something called the Church Trail, which surprises me because I wasn't aware of any on this walk today. I am sure I've walked this path before. Recognise that clock tower, which is accurate. 1:15. Yes, this was formerly Wallingham Park Hospital and Croydon Mental Hospital. They've done a similar thing to the old institution up near me at Olsey or Fairfield. And there's the plaque on my left, referred to in the text. attached to these iron gates that are well protected. Lovely mixed woodland in here, of the kind that's going to get destroyed by HS2. Obviously, since I last walked and filmed, that's been given the green light. Very, very annoyingly. Complete waste of money. And it will run over budget. Lots of fallen trees on this section of the walk, and they're not recent either. Just as we approach the edge of the wood. Don't know why they haven't been cut up, because they're lying all over the footpath. Even here where you turn right at the edge of the wood next to the open field. Point 20 of the text, there's a fallen tree. A couple of weeks ago it was an old crane. This week it's a dumper truck. Dumper truck graveyard next to this small pond just prior to point 21 of the text. So we leave Great Park. That really does take a lot of thought, doesn't it? Dumping that in the middle of nowhere. So down in Folkestone it was NCN 2, today it's NCN 21. Do a right at this juncture, then turn left here, again still following the cycle path. And this will be the shared usage kind of path that I don't like. But hey ho, that's the way it is. As long as they don't encroach onto footpaths, I've got no problems with this. Lovely robin song there. Lovely and shrill. Melodious. Beautiful. In fact, funnily enough, this isn't too bad at all underfoot, because it's got a fairly hard surface to it. Plenty of hedge cutting going on somewhere in the distance. Ignore that footpath there on the left. Point 24 of the text. More pleasant woodland walking. Barren at the moment, but would be nice any time of the year really. Better in spring, mind you. My favourite time of year. Young fresh green leaves coming out. That's health and safety gone mad. It's not that steep. Just ascending point 24 there. Approaching the White Bear at Fickleshole, which is the recommended lunchtime stop. I need to find some appropriate accommodation. Decent pub garden at the appropriate time of year. It's an interesting place, designed out of 3 old terraces. Unsure what this is all about. Our onward journey from the pub is towards Biggin Hill, which is why there's some small light plane noise in the background from time to time now. Very popular pub anyway, even on a cold February day. So God forbid what it's like on a weekend in August. Horrendous. So as you can see, it's a 16th century free house. Repeated on the end terrace. Now in the entrance to Fairchild's farm. Onward journeys through that gate. I'm guessing this is supposed to be the style referred to in the text, but either way you could unhook the electric fence if you so wished. So you have the option here to do a left, shorten the walk at New Addington. Point 30 of the text here. My onward journey, however, is straight ahead. Still looking for a lunchtime pit stop. We are now entering the London Borough of Bromley, apparently, in which I stay for the rest of the walk. Biggin Hill Airport over there. Used by those with money and private jets on the whole. Now about to enter Jules Wood, as in Crown. Looking on the ground, there's two options. Left, which is the one we take, or right, which is less clear, but nevertheless it's still there. Once again, this wood will be a beautiful bluebell wood in the spring, April, May time, depending on the global warming and flooding actually. Since it's been a wet spring or wet late winter, that could impact on them coming out a tad earlier or later. Nice bracket fungus there, and once again, as I've mentioned previously, attached to birch, which is a great tree for wildlife, so I read. Provides food for more species of creature than any other tree, I think I read that somewhere. Just in the entrance to Hyams Hill Farm, pretty decent vista. Onward journeys ahead there to the left of the image. Busy road behind me, mind you. It's a licensed green waste depot. God knows what's going on down there. Some kind of traveller camp by the looks of it. In the week the Gypsy King became world champion. Congratulations, Tyson. Deserved, from what I saw. Interesting. Never heard of a pig trap site to do with gas. I can smell gas actually, which is a shame, because I was toying with having my pit stop just there on that log. But I might get knocked out by the fumes. Anyway, I'll ask my mate Frank about that pig trap thing. Looking down the valley to what I presume is Biggin Hill in the distance. the town of as a jet takes off, or a small plane. Decent vista on the right, having just passed the turn off to Leaves Green. And once again, an omnipresent robin behind me. Even though it's deepest February, it's still quite green in this wood, thanks to yew trees and a lot of ivy, which means there's a potential risk for trees coming down in a not too distant. Fair amount of woodland walking in this walk today as well, which is good. Nice variety thus far. Point 36 of the text, where the footpath divides within the wood. I'm at Furze Bottom, this is called, where there's an appropriately positioned bin. No seat yet though for my pit stop yet. Well, there's a log over there. No, it's too high. Anyway, don't take the left here, continue right. Okay, still in Furze Bottom, and as it's 2:45, I'm going to utilise this stile here as my lunchtime pit stop. Sit on the top beam. Just gone 3, lunch has been had. Very tasty it was as well, much needed. So I'm reinvigorated now. Per ardua ad astra. I keep noticing this powder at certain intervals. It was on the stile where I had my lunch as well. I wonder if it's some kind of scent for something to be following. Certainly it's an indicator of kinds. I wonder if anybody knows. So over on the left there, you can just make out Canary Wharf and the Isle of Dogs. Looks like you've got someone living in an old coach down there. Amazing. Now we'll reach the appropriately named Jackass Lane, and we're going to be following the Nash Circular. Yeah, before I was interrupted by that car. The Nash Circular walk now, which is left apparently. The Nash Circular is actually towards Keston Common there, but the instructions tell me to go left for 250 yards down Jackass Lane, so I'll have to get the GPS out and find out what's going on. Yes, it is down Jackass Lane, as it's just started to spit, which wasn't forecast. Well, it actually turned out to be a little hail shower, and the time I got my waterproofs on, it finished. Anyway, they're on now. A rare event for me, getting these out, but as I say, that wasn't forecast, so I'll keep them on just in case. So as you can see, it's brightened up quite nicely now. Still cold, mind you. Not sure what's going on in that field over there, but lots of horses being exercised to music by the sounds of it from here. Although typically as I record, it's stopped. But the horses seem to be moving around to the music. Anyway, one thing I must commend Bromley Council for, or Bromley Borough Council, is their hedge maintenance, because yeah, very good. There's been a lot of ivy fallen on this path recently, and it's already been cleared, which is excellent considering this is out of the way. There are said horses leaving the field. It turns out the music was actually an ice cream van not too far distant. So, leaving Fortune Bank Farm behind me, which is the equestrian centre, just past Nash Cottage, and next door you got Nash Manor. Small hamlet, but lots going on here. And then in a second we go up the appropriately named North Pole Lane today, because it certainly is a bit on the fresh side. Still following the Nash Circular. Just to confirm, we're in the leafy London Borough of Bromley. Now I'll take this footpath to Coney Hall. With pleasant enough views on my right. Pretty decent for a London borough anyway. No coronavirus down here. Point 41 of the text, you will of course have noticed that I went through a brand new kissing gate by the looks of it, alongside this new fence as well. So it's no longer a stile as referred to in the text. All good stuff, Bromley Council and the local ramblers. My first cows of the day, and once again they are bullocks. So whoever wrote, I was reading a comment on one of these Saturday Walkers Club walks, they reckon that bullocks are not around at this time of year because they've already become steaks. Well, I can tell you now, and as was the case down on the Kent Vineyard walk the other week, they are out in the winter. Definitely not steaks yet. Well, I'm likely to be one if I hang around too long. Now entering Well Wood, as you can see, which is home to lots of ash according to this. Field maple, Douglas fir, quite a good plethora of trees in here. So let's see how Bromley Council are doing. Big tick so far. Good way of stacking timber for nature, that. An alternative to log piling. And I suspect this wood once again could be a bluebell wood. Looks like there's some plants around on the ground. Turn right here at this footpath post for 200 metres to exit the wood apparently. And as you can hear in the background, the parakeets have been pretty omnipresent today. Funny, the cyclist did apologise for getting into my shop, but not to worry. I was saying the parakeets have been with us pretty much all day, but now they're more omnipresent. So you got Queensway on my left, with the end property up for sale, if anyone's interested. We continue down this footpath, still on the Nash Circular, for another 400 yards. Quite a busy little road that, albeit we're only on it for 180 yards. Now taking this footpath on the left to Hayes Common. Temperature now seems to have increased somewhat ahead of tomorrow's forecast storm, no doubt. Point 47 of the text. Decent views on my right. Having just got across the busy Croydon Road behind me, we're now following the Three Commons circular walk. Once again, plenty of gorse around. Decent ending to the walk, surrounded by traffic, but it's not too bad in the background. It's not bad enough to drown out the song thrushes now, which usually appear around about this time, at this time of year, as you may be able to hear in the background. Above that motorbike. See, that's about the right size for a parakeet to squat into. I think they nest in former woodpeckers' holes. Let them do, a bit like a cuckoo, let them do the hard work, and then they get squatters' rights. Very pleasant in here, away from the traffic now. Plenty of bird song, surprisingly. Just leaving Hayes Common, and there are people with dogs on there. Reminds me that I have done this common before. I have to check what the walk was, but definitely done it. This bit is certainly ringing memory bells, albeit I don't remember much of the rest of the walk, which is good. All fresh stuff. On down Station Hill. And so into Hayes Station. There are various eating and drinking places nearby for those that so wish. So here we are, 10.7 miles, 4 hours 46 later, back at the pleasant little terminus of Hayes. Quite a nice little area this, truth be told. Got its own little terminus, trains into Charing Cross and Cannon Street. So I change at London Bridge, get a Thames Link. That was a very decent walk, albeit very muddy for about 75% of the walk. Obviously it's been raining heavily of late, and I was kind of hoping that last night's low temperatures would have hardened it up a bit, but they didn't, and it's warmed up as the days progressed, so it's quite mild now. So yeah, the calm before the storm, as I said. So yeah, highly recommended, considering it's so close to London. Very pleasant walking. You wouldn't really know you was close to London in Zone 6, really. So that's SWC Walk 38 completed. Probably recommend that one for Bluebell season. Till the next time.